Lightning, tonight at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app.
NBA Sunday on ESPN Radio.
Grabs it with a right hand and throws it down.
Heated rivals go head-to-head at TD Garden.
Brunson fires a three. Oh, what a big shot. It ties the game at 84.
Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks head to Boston to face Jaylen Brown and the Celtics.
Brown, reverse layup on the alley-oop.
The Knicks at the Celtics. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern with tip-off at 12:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
Saturday on ESPN, familiar foes face off in a blockbuster doubleheader. First at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, it's college basketball's greatest rivalry.
Duke Carolina always delivers.
Then at 10:30, AJ Devonta and BYU face Houston's stifling defense.
Just relentless.
A men's blockbuster.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. In a game that would feature 28 lead changes and 13 ties, Alabama would have 6 players score in double figures, led by Aiden Holloway's 20 points and a career-high 6 rebounds. Crimson Tide knock off Texas A&M 100-97. Alabama would end the game on a 19-6 run. Other SEC scores from last night, Kentucky would get 20 points and 11 rebounds from Brandon Garrison. Wildcats knock off Oklahoma 94-78. ASUN basketball from last night, a shorthanded UNA squad falls on the road to Central Arkansas, and former UAH head coach John Shulman 81-60. Dante Backus would lead the Lions with 21 points. Tonight on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, the UAH Chargers host Delta State. Women's game tips off at 5:30. Men's game tips off at 7:30. Download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today to hear the Chargers tonight.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The Big Dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the Big Dog,
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to a Beat the Big Dog Thursday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. So glad that you are with us today, and this is the final Beat the Big Dog of the season. Now, we had one last week that is still pending because it's based on the Super Bowl, obviously, and Joe and Huntsville played, and we have one today. So either both these guys will beat me, and they'll get seats in the TOC Ice Suite for the Huntsville Havoc game coming up in March, or Wolverine Dan, who already is in the suite, he might get the whole suite himself. I mean, if neither one of these guys can beat me, Wolverine Dan gets the entire suite, all 6 tickets to the TOC Ice Suite, because he's the only one that's been able to beat me since we put this prize up there. Now, look, I am 78-52 against the spread on the season. It may be my best season ever. I have to figure that out in terms of a percentage. I've ticked 60% a couple of times, and I mean, we've been doing this for 15, 18 years. This is 78-52 is pretty good. You guys are 72-58, and that's pretty good as well. Grasshopper's holding steady on the fence at 65-65. And we'll see how that works out. That does not feed the Bulldog. I'll tell you that right now. 65-65, it costs you 10% on the losers, right? I mean, you guys understand the vigorish. You understand the vig. You pay an extra 10% on the losers. So you have to be like 51.7% or something like that to cover the vig. And he's not doing it. The way the math works if you had put a crispy $10 bill and every pick that I gave you this year, you would be up $82 now on the season. So you can add the zeros to that at your own risk. But you would have won $72. If you put it there, $720. If you put a $10 bill on every one, you would be $720 on the winners, and then like $63 that you would have paid on the 58 losers to cover the vig. But you'd be up $82 for a $10 bet. That's not bad. That's not bad. At the bottom of this hour, we are headed out to San Francisco to the Super Bowl this morning with my old buddy Matt Perrault with the podcast, The Bostonian versus the Book. Now, this is a show that is on YouTube, and it's replayed every night on the Sports Grid TV at midnight Central Time. Matt is the Bostonian in that deal. We worked together years ago in Huntsville. So we'll get his take on the Patriots side of the deal. Earlier in the week, we had Walter Jones joining us with the Seahawks take on the Super Bowl. So now we'll get Matt Perrault from the Boston Patriot, New England Patriot view on this thing. And then at the top of the 11, former president of the Tennessee Titans and NFL Executive of the Year, Jeff Diamond, will join us. Brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage in Alabama, Paige Mooneyhan and 2020 Mortgage in Tennessee. Jeff used to be the GM of the Vikings, who just fired their GM last week. So I'm sure he has a take on that. I don't know. Maybe he can't even join us. Maybe he's interviewing for the job. I don't know. I mean, why would you have to interview Jeff Diamond? He was the executive of the year as the GM of the Vikings, then became the president of the Tennessee Titans. I don't think you even have to interview that guy. You just say, hey, you're our guy. That's a whole nother story. So we'll talk to him about that. We'll also talk to him, get his take on the Super Bowl and the Hall of Fame class, which will be announced on Saturday. More on that in a moment. Phone lines are open. Feel free to jump in and contribute to the show at 256-576-4977. That number is good wherever and however you consume the show. We also have a text window for you. That is open as well. We read and react to those on the air. 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. Finally, you can watch the show as well on WZZN TV and on YouTube, on our Facebook, and on X. You can find it at my X feed, which is at Thom Abraham Show. All right. You can go right there to at Thom Abraham Show and find it right there. Now, while you're at Thom Abraham Show and you're finding it there, I'm going to tell you something else right now. You will see posted, and I try not to talk in absolutes, but you will see posted the single greatest television commercial in the history of television commercials. Oh, yes, that's right. It'll be in the Super Bowl this week. But the commercial has been released by Budweiser. It is the single greatest commercial I have 60. Go look at it. Those of you watching on WZZN TV, maybe at some point in time, you'll get a chance to see that as well. We'll try and air that for you as well. I don't think there's any, there it is. It's airing right now. It is spectacular. Now, you're seeing it there. If you check it out on my site, you'll get to hear it. Try to describe it. Oh, they can hear it while I'm talking? How can they hear it and me? Oh, okay. Here, let me shut up. No, I won't do that because all the people are on the radio. But the thing is, it's the greatest commercial ever. Okay? I literally got goosebumps watching the commercial. When does a commercial ever give you goosebumps? All right, I'll describe the commercial. Okay? It's a baby Clydesdale. All right? It's a newborn full a Clydesdale. Okay? And he's rocking around in the barn, can barely walk and everything else. And then out of a nest falls a baby eagle. Like, you know, the eagle is the symbol of Budweiser, right? So it's a baby eagle. The baby eagle ends up on the back of the Clydesdale. And then the commercial chronicles the history of the Clydesdale growing up and the Eagle growing up. And they're doing it to the Freebird. They are playing the greatest single piece of music ever recorded in the history of rock anthems, Freebird. And they're doing the Freebird while the Eagle is growing up and riding around on the back of a Clydesdale. You gotta be kidding me. And then the last scene of the commercial, the Eagle flies off the back of the Clydesdale, but they're shooting it from the ground, and all you see is the wings, and it looks like the Clydesdale is flying, and then the Eagle appears. And they're doing it to Freebird. Oh, my gosh. And then they got the two old guys at the end, and the guy says, "Are you crying?" No, sun's in my eyes. I got chills just talking about it. Just talking about it. Look, something has to be the best in your life. Something has to be the best ever of a particular thing. All right? Best ever woman I ever met's my wife. Best ever son I got is a four-way tie. Best ever commercial I ever saw in my life, that commercial. That thing that they do, you know, that thing that they do at the Super Bowl where they have like the commercials and the ad meter thing, and they determine it's over. It's over. That is the best Super Bowl commercial. Not only that, it's the best commercial ever. Other than that, I have no feeling. Reportedly, Roger Craig has made it through the senior committee that passed on Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick for induction into the Hall of Fame. It's not official yet. We find out on Saturday. The other players that were on that list were L.C. Greenwood and Kenny Anderson. And it's great that they made it to that point. L.C. Greenwood and Kenny Anderson are not Hall of Famers. They're not. They're not. Especially Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson was a fine quarterback. He would be in the Hall of Good. Kenny Anderson is nowhere near a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's not a Hall of Famer. I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised he made it to that point. I'm also surprised that Roger Craig wasn't already in the Hall of Fame. How does Roger Craig make it to this point? How was he not in the Hall of Fame? And ironically, Phillip Rivers is a finalist this year. Well, not anymore. You know, he's ineligible again since he came back for a few games. And now the clock starts all over on Phillip Rivers. So he won't be considered for another 5 years now. So no more than between 3 and 5 of the modern era players will be selected. They got to get 80% of the vote from the 50 voters. And this is different than the baseball Hall of Fame where they just, 400 voters and they send in their votes anonymously and all that stuff. This is different. These guys are sitting around. They vote anonymously. Some tell us what they did. These guys are all sitting around and somebody makes a case for the guy and then they vote, for him. So there'll be 5 modern era players selected. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald are first timers. They should be locks. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald should be first ballot locks, in my opinion. Of the holdovers, Luke Kuechly, the linebacker from the Carolina Panthers, to me, he should go in. And Adam Vinatieri is the best kicker I've ever seen. And I was born in the era where the place kicker was like an offensive lineman. It would be like the left tackle, and he'd put his square-toe shoe on and go in there and kick. So I've lived through the era of the Pete Gogolak being the first soccer-style kicker, and then the European kickers and all that, and then the soccer-style kickers that were Americans. Adam Vinatieri is the best kicker I've ever saw. I know Justin Tucker. Adam Vinatieri is the best kicker I ever saw. Clutch kicker, everything else. So he should be in the Hall of Fame. If he's not in the Hall of Fame, what's the point of having kickers? If somebody has to be the best, he should be in. I think there's only one pure kicker, not Lou Groza. He was an offensive lineman too. But I believe we'll have to put the crack research team on it. I think Jan Stenerud might be the only place kicker in the Hall of Fame. I may be totally wrong about that. But I think that Jan Stenerud is the only place kicker in the Hall of Fame. So Luke Kuechly and Adam Vinatieri, I think, should be in. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald should be in. The question is Eli Manning, who is a finalist, second year eligible. Eli Manning, Jason Witten, tight end, really good tight end, be a Hall of Famer someday. Frank Gore. I don't feel Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer. He played a long time, but I'm not feeling Frank Gore. Terrell Suggs? Maybe. Darren Woodson? I feel like Darren Woodson's a Hall of Famer. Now, Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne are very interesting because Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne were number 2 receivers on their own team. Behind Hall of Famers Isaac Bruce and Marvin Harrison, respectively. I mean, Torrey Holt was the number 2 receiver behind Isaac Bruce. Reggie Wayne was the number 2 receiver behind Marvin Harrison. Now, having said that, there is precedent for this, notably Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. And most considered, love John Stallworth. Most considered that John Stallworth was the 2 there. That it was Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. Now, Isaac Bruce says that he and Torrey Holt were the best pair of receivers ever in the history of mankind. I disagree. I think that Lynn Swann and John Stallworth were. They just played in an era when they didn't throw the ball with a team that didn't throw the ball very much. I mean, their number of receptions is ridiculously low. I think, and I might be just making this up, but I think both those guys are like in the 300s in receivers. That's like, for Puka Nacua, that's like 3 seasons. 2.5 seasons. Puka Nacua has 300 receptions. I think they were like 368, 370. I may be making that up. But my brain, that thing that I got in my head.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
That bouncing around up there is in my head. And by the way, it's confirmed that Jan Stenerud is the only place kicker in the NFL Hall of Fame. Adam Vinatieri should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in there. All right, so if you want to react to any of that stuff, that's all on the table for you. And according to social media data, 43% of the country is rooting for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Only the 6 New England states plus Florida and California are pulling for the Patriots. And my bet is those people in Florida and California that are pulling for the Patriots are New England refugees, probably from up there. Because honestly, I don't know why. And why isn't Tennessee pulling for Mike Vrabel and the Patriots? Why isn't Tennessee pulling for the Patriots? Personally, I'm pulling for the Patriots, mostly because I hate them less than I hate Seattle. So I'm not really pulling for anyone. I'm pulling against the Seahawks. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why I don't like them, but I never liked them, even going all the way back to 1976 when they were invented. And finally, defense was definitely optional last night in Tuscaloosa, where the Tide got the dramatic win against the Aggies, 100-97. Aiden Holloway with 20. Latrell Wrightsell hits the go-ahead 3-pointer with about a minute left, and then the Tide hung on. There were 28 lead changes in the game. There were 13 ties. Wrightsell's 3 happened with 1:11 remaining, and then Aiden Holloway with that sick layup. He gets knocked to the floor, and he makes that crazy layup. It's not really is it a layup? It's like a jump shot from the floor. He just heaved it up in the air, goes right through the hoop. And one. That put the Tide up 99-95 with 22 seconds left. They win 197. All right, back at Mission Control, playing the Platters that matter, the stacks of wax, answer phones, keeping us on the air. The Prodigy, the Grasshopper. You know who he is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
Here we go again. Yeah, baby. Vinny just hit the text window. He said, just watch the ad. Hair on my neck standing straight up.
Wow. He's almost like...
I mean, John, it's the best commercial ever made in the history of mankind.
Look, I didn't know... Like, I saw where you were coming from. It was cute, all right? But then I...
Not cute! Not cute!
And I heard what was going on in the background, and it finally came to fruition. Obviously, if you mix one of your best songs, possibly the best song ever, with anything, it's going to make your hair stand up. So, yeah, it was good. It was cool to see the horse almost fly. Cute little bird, I guess. And yeah, it was very American, and it's better than anything else that they've made this past year because they took advantage of the AI. Oh yeah, they did.
No,
not in that one. No worries, not in that recent commercial.
No, there's
CG.
no AI in there.
It's all CG, so it's good in this new commercial. But last year, them, Coca-Cola, and a few other companies were dabbling in the AI. So it's just one of those things. It scares me every once in a while, but we're chilling.
What? I'm confused now. Are you telling me that commercial is not 100% real?
No. Well, okay. Well,
what?
It's not.
What's CG or AI or anime or what are you saying? Nice. What are you saying? That commercial's perfect.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of hard to control, the behavior of a baby bird as well as a horse.
I don't think so. I think they were trained. It's perfect.
I'll let you believe it. It's almost like the Simba movie that came out a few years ago. That was all real too. The live action Lion King. That was all real. So
no, that wasn't. This is. Do that to me. All right. By the way, I just learned that Matt Perrault will be joining us via video. So I sent you boys. Go ahead and send him the what do you call it now if you want. Send him the invite. And he will join us via video from Radio Row in San Francisco. That's cool. All right, let me get Philip in here quick. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little disturbed at your placing of Freebird as the greatest piece of music ever. It's not even Leonard Skinner's best song.
The instrumental of Freebird, the final 5 minutes of Freebird, is the greatest single piece of music ever recorded in the history of mankind.
Negative. Not even in the Southern rock realm. Outlaws, Greengrass, High Tides, Kicks, Freebird's ass.
We have it on the list. It's like 2. I did have it up there around 2, but I do not have that above the. Hey, it's opinion. My opinion is the instrumental for Freebird, greatest piece of music ever since ever.
Now, when they opened for the Stones and walked out on the tongue during that song, that was an iconic American moment.
Yeah.
If you are familiar with that. It's on YouTube. You can watch it.
I'll have to go look at it on YouTube. Did they open with free? Were they freebirding? If they're not freebirding, I don't want to know.
Yes, it's during Freebird. They're opening for the Stones in an outdoor concert.
All right, I got to go see that.
Where Madison Square Garden? Well, not Madison Square Garden. Forget where they were, but and they got this giant tongue that goes out into the audience. The Stones thing. But Leonard Skinner was told you are not allowed to go on the tongue. Nobody goes on the tongue but the Stones. So during Freebird, they all go out on the tongue. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
All right.
All right.
If we're going to put Ken Anderson in the Hall of Fame, let's just do this. Let's just say that every quarterback that ever played in a Super Bowl and lost deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Would that not make it easier? Maybe give more people that actually deserve, to be Hall of Famers an opportunity to be Hall of Famers.
Well, what about the winners? We might as well put Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
Rich Cannon.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Rich Gannon was an MVP. I don't know if Ken Anderson was an MVP. Rich Gannon was an MVP of the league and a Super Bowl champion. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? No.
I guess whoever voted Ken Anderson in the Hall of Fame.
Danny White. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Let's put Jim Hart in there, just because poor Jim Hart, quarterback for the pitiful St. Louis Cardinals. Let's put him in.
Sonny Jurgensen. Oh, he might be in. I don't know. All right.
I don't get it. Hey, Saturday night, Carolina Duke, the best sporting event this weekend. That's how bad this Super Bowl is. Carolina Duke, and it's not even.
I'm not going to say
Duke's going to kill them, which sucks. But that's going to be the best sporting event this weekend.
Good job by you, Philip. Appreciate the call. Carolina Duke is on a short list of best rivalries in the history of sport. I'll take Yankees Red Sox 1 over that. Carolina Duke is outstanding. It's not bigger than the Super Bowl, though. All right, we're going to get a break here. When we come back, Matt Perrault joins us from the podcast, The Bostonian versus the Book. He's the Bostonian, longtime friend from back in the day. You can watch that show on the YouTube and on Sports Grid TV as well every night. He'll join us from the Super Bowl, from San Francisco, from Radio Row. He's coming up next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all, with features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Welcome to Kern Electrical, where teamwork powers every project. Our champion sales team takes time to understand your needs, tailoring the perfect Generac generator for your home or business. Our project managers handle all coordination, ensuring a tackle-free installation. Our certified installation crews ensure peace of mind, even in the darkest moments. With our service and maintenance lineups, you can be assured we're with you every step of the way. Experience the home team advantage of Kern Electrical, your Generac superstore.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15 at participating locations. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. In New Market and Hampton Cove, and our new location, now open in Hartselle at 200 Main Street West, downtown.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make. So it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Stuart Evans, mortgage loan officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation in a changing rate environment. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit me at our downtown Huntsville office and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Bryant Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Mike Owen and Owen Home Appliance. Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance also prides themselves on community involvement as well. They get involved in all kinds of things, sponsoring local teams and events and so on, and they make sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. It's Owen Home Appliance. So what made you go Simple Man? I'm sitting there talking about the greatest commercial in the history of commercials featuring Freebird, and you come back with Simple Man?
No, I didn't want it to be too Freebird heavy, and Hollywood also threw out his opinions on it. And I was like, Simple Man is pretty goated, but I also agree with you. Nothing beats a good guitar solo.
That's actually my ringtone, Simple Man. And so when you said that, I looked right at when you played that, I looked right at my phone because Simple Man is my ringtone. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. And now a great opportunity to go out to the Super Bowl with a guy that I worked with years and years ago when I first got to Huntsville. He really is a tremendous talent. He's a heck of a handicapper as well. He works the podcast, The Bostonian versus the Book. He's the Bostonian. That's why we're talking to him. We're going to get the Patriots feel on this Super Bowl from him. And he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. He's also on WZZN TV with us as well. Matt Perrault joins us. Matt, welcome in. How are you, man?
I am wonderful. Great that the Huntsville people get 5 years of Patriot talk from me and now more of it here today with another Patriot run.
Yeah, I mean, it is another Patriot run. Apparently, though, Tom Brady doesn't care, right? Tom Brady says he's got no dog in the fight. And look, the Raiders aren't playing. The Bucks aren't playing. Why can't Tom Brady say, he's not doing the game, why can't Tom Brady say, hey, I'm pulling for my buddy Mike Vrabel and the Patriots here?
Because I believe that Tom Brady has taken the whole, you're a unbiased journalist thing a little bit too far. And he is really afraid because he has the ownership stake of the Raiders that if he comes off like a Patriot homer, that he's going to have a hard time selling in Las Vegas. It's where I live. I tell you right now, Tom Brady is not a popular figure because he was supposed to have a much bigger say in the football operation, and he has not done a good job with what he has done so far. So they've got the number one pick. They got Clint Kubiak coming over from the Seahawks up once this game is over. A lot of pressure on Brady. So I know why Brady can't say much about the Patriots because Raider fans are listening to every word he says.
But they're not in the game. So why? And he played with Mike Vrabel. So why can't he just, if even not mentioning the Patriots by name, why can't he even say, I'm really pulling for Mike. This would be a great thing for him to win a Super Bowl as a player and a coach.
Well, if you want to psychoanalyze it, it's Drake May winning a championship before Tom Brady.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Tom Brady was 24 when he won the first championship. Drake May is 23. So there is a theory out there that Tom Brady is not happy that the Patriots are right back into this position here. And with Drake May and a 50-year-old head coach, that the Patriots could be starting another run. And that would then diminish Brady as the GOAT. It would drop him down in the list of, okay, how many great quarterbacks have the Patriots had? So that, I think there is a little jealousy going on. But I think it has more to do with the Raiders, has more to do with his ownership and his position with the NFL, not wanting to come off as the ultimate Patriot homer.
why didn't Tom Brady hire Mike Vrabel to be the head coach of the Raiders instead of archaic Pete Carroll? And he'd had somebody that he could have there and build with for the next 10 years.
Yeah, there's a million questions you can have. Why did they bring in Geno Smith, a guy who was leading the NFL in interceptions, and all he did was throw more interceptions? Why didn't they invest in the offensive line to go ahead and help Ashton Genty out? You take a running back in the top 10 of the draft and you put him behind the worst offensive line in recent memory in the NFL. These are all Tom Brady decisions, and this is why Brady is under hot water in Las Vegas, because Raider fans don't know if he really knows what he's doing. So that's why this hire of Clint Kubiak is so important, because if he says, go Patriots, he just hired Clint Kubiak, the OC of the Seattle Seahawks. So I think he's in kind of a tough spot here, trying to play and make sure everybody's happy with him. So he's kind of punting and saying, I'm not going to cheer for anybody.
Yeah, Matt Perrault with us here. The show is called The Bostonian versus the Book. Lay that show out for us. So what is this? Do you guys go over like a number of picks each day in the world of sports and literally go against each other, break the games down? What's the show about?
Yeah, so it's gone through a pretty nasty iteration because I'm the Bostonian. The book was my best friend named Dave Sherapan, who passed away in September. So this is the first time that I've done a show here at the Super Bowl without Dave. So the show is different. It's me now. It's more akin, if you're someone who listened to my show in Huntsville, it's more similar to that. We go through everything. It's more sports talk heavy than sports gambling heavy. Dave was a 25-year bookmaker and lived in Las Vegas for 20 years and worked offshore in Curacao and had incredible connections into the sports gambling world. And we still do a lot of sports gambling content. I still bet every day and still do a ton of work in the sports gambling space. But it's more of a interview, more of a sports talk type topic, and it's more kind of like what you do. Solo host going over the biggest topic of the day and using sports gambling information to help us with the conversation.
I've seen a few of them when you did it with Dave, so I'll have to check it out. I haven't checked that out since you're running solo on that deal. Now, listen, we do this thing. I've been doing it for, 15, 18 years. We do Beat the Big Dog on Thursday, where a listener will pick 6 picks against me. We have some props in there today. I'm going to throw a couple at him just so get your take on them. But on the season, I got to tell you, just humble brag here. On the season, I am now 78-52 against the number. 78-52, and we don't pick like the best game to pick. We pick games that people are interested in. We're picking all the SEC games and some NFL games and Titan games and Falcons games and things like that. So we're picking games that people want to hear us talk about, not the sweet game that, some random team is playing. But I'm feeling pretty good, Matt. 78-52 against the spread does not suck.
Does not at all. Maybe you need to go talk to somebody down in the State House about potentially getting Alabama on the board to be a legalized sports betting state. You could take some damage down. But that's a great number. I mean, that's hey, look, if you get over 54%, you're doing some work. That's got to be closer to 70%. That's incredible.
60 something. But here's the thing, Matt. So, of course, I live in Tennessee, so we have it in Tennessee.
Oh, good.
So I'm good. I'm across the border in Tennessee at Timms Ford Lake. And then as far as Alabama goes, I got to be honest with you. The prediction market thing has taken off like crazy. And that prediction market thing is good everywhere. I don't know if it's going to last. It's something that's pissing off a lot of the regular books and everything else. But it is something that people have stumbled upon, and in every state in the union, anybody can buy options on particular games, and it's kind of fun to do because you see you see it all throughout the game. It's going up and down, up and down. It's like buying and selling stock. It's like being a day trader, like old Preston. You remember Plainsman Preston, right?
Oh yeah,
being a day trader on a game.
Well, look, I mean, the prediction market space being the 50-state solution is a huge deal. I mean, Alabama and Utah both being the 2 states that simply don't have lotteries, and now prediction markets are coming into place to take that market, to take that business is significant. And I do think we're going to see some level of the government getting involved. And look, they claimed it was sports gambling. Then they're claiming it's not sports gambling. I have an issue with the prediction market people because it is sports gambling, and just call it what it is, because they are taking business away from legalized sports books. But they are operating in California and Texas and Alabama and Utah and the states that don't have legalized sports gambling. So it's big money in those states for both like Polymarket or Kalshi or other prediction marketplaces that are in there operating.
And to be honest with you, I haven't even looked at the VIG factor, whether or not, if you go with the sports book, you're paying more of a VIG than you are, if you go prediction market.
It's company by company. They call it a fee. So the fee sometimes is more than 10%. Sometimes it's less than 10%. So it depends upon the market and also the operator. But it really is up to the operator as to how they want to set that number and how they want to set how much of a fee they want to charge for the I'll call it the bet that's being placed.
Yeah, Matt Perrault with us here. All right, these are some of the props that we're using today for Beat the Big Dog, and you can help our listeners. I'll give them your take on it. The over-under for yards passing for Sam Darnold's around 228. Drake May is 225. So, I mean, that's really very, very close. In fact, most of the numbers, when you look at the tail of the tape in this game, are a lot closer than the 4.5 point spread in it. But having said that, Sam Darnold or Drake May, straight up, who's going to throw for more yards in this game?
I would probably say Sam Darnold because I think the Patriots are going to run the ball more effectively than people think. So I would say that Darnold because I expect Darnold to be behind, and so I expect Darnold to have to throw more. So I would say just Darnold throws for more because Drake May's not going to have to do as much in this game as I think Sam Darnold's going to. So I would lean towards Sam Darnold throwing more, but I think both those numbers are pretty accurate. I mean, we're going to see somewhere around 225, 240 for both these quarterbacks on Sunday.
All right, we got in here Drake May over or under 36.5 yards rushing.
So this is Sharp versus Public. The Public is all over the over because of what they've seen in the postseason with Drake May and how much he has run. The Sharps are all on the under. They do not believe that Drake May is going to be able to run against this defense. The Seahawks have done a great job of stopping running quarterbacks this season. And if Drake May is going to be in the pocket like I think he's going to, he may not need to have to scramble the same way he did in the previous two games against the Texans and against the Broncos. But I would lean towards the over here because I do think Drake's going to get pressured. I do think the offensive line is a question for the Patriots, in particular with Will Campbell as the left tackle. This is a big game. He's been really salty all week. He's really ticked off about all the questions about whether or not he's a good left tackle and should he kick inside to be a guard. So I do think Drake May will run. So I would bet the over on that, but I get why the Sharps are fading the Public and going with the under.
Yeah, Matt Perrault with us here, Bostonian versus the book. All right, so to that theme then, you talked about the pressure on Drake May, and he does have that ability to get out of the pocket. He will also give the ball up in the pocket sometimes, which is a disturbing thing, there. But we've got another one here. Drake May over or under being sacked 3.5 times.
Well, he's been sacked 5 times in every playoff game so far this year. So I think the prevailing opinion is over on this. The one thing that I will say about this and why I would bet the over is that Drake May will step up in the pocket. And sometimes he's not sacked like a 10-yard sack, but because he's trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, he'll get tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. And by a stat standpoint, that counts as a sack. So I would say that's why he's been sacked 5 times. Just the nature of the way he plays the position, I think it leans towards going over 3.5. And this pass rush, obviously, for the Seahawks is tremendous. So I would say over 3.5 is the play there.
All right, let's get to the game itself. I'm going to tell you how I'm, the simplified version of how I'm breaking it down, and then I want to hear your take on it. Sam Darnold has played 2 beautiful games in the playoff. I mean, absolutely 2 really solid games in the playoff. I can't get my arms around him playing another great game. I just don't feel like Sam Darnold could, at some point in time, the Cinderella slipper's not going to fit or something. I don't know what the cliche is, but it just feels like I just have a hard time believing against a Mike Vrabel defense that Sam Darnold's going to have another great game like that. So to that end, I'm on the Patriots here. In fact, I'm not even on the Patriots, just on the 4.5. I think Patriots can win this football game. I think it's somewhere in the low 20s, 21-17, 24-21, something like that. But I think the Patriots win the football game. So that's where I am on it. What are you looking at with the Patriots plus 4.5?
I think the best bet in the day is Patriots plus 5. If you can find a 5 in the marketplace, I think it's the best play on the entire board because I believe that there is tremendous value in New England to take the points here. This is very similar to the AFC Championship game where the Patriots were favored by 5 on the road against Denver. That line was way too heavy. It never should have been that. It should have been 2.5. This number should be 2.5. Seattle. But because of public perception and because of the books knowing what the public is going to bet, this number is juiced up to 2.5 points higher than it should be here today at 4.5 or 5. So I think you're on the right side. I think whenever you're betting a dog, I think you always have to sprinkle on the money line because you think the dog can cover. That means you think the dog can win the game. So why not dabble in the money line market for the Patriots here? I think you're going to wind up being on the right side. I think the group think going on across this room where I'm sitting here in San Francisco, or just the public, everyone is claiming this is a blowout. Everyone is claiming that Seattle is going to walk through the Patriots. And I keep on pushing back on the idea that the Patriots' path was easier than what Seattle took to get here. They played a joke team in the 49ers who was completely blown up and decimated by injuries. And then they played a Rams team whose defense was not good down the stretch. And they played in their home stadium for 2 of the 3 games that they could have played. The Patriots played a road game, and they played 3 top 5 defenses. When you have that, Patriots' path to get here far more difficult than what Seattle faced.
Yeah, and I call this one a moto. I think this is a bit of a moto, the old Pete Axtell moto, master of the obvious. Everybody is looking one way, and then it ends up going the other way. I mean, that's when everybody's thinking one thing, you need to go the other way. I am kind of shocked that this number has not moved. I know the Super Bowl is probably the sharpest number, of the year. Everybody's pretty much dialed in on it, but this number has not moved. I mean, this came out like this on Sunday night, and it has stayed there for 2 weeks. And just about every hotel you look at, it's 4.5. So it's very surprising. And the total at 45.5, that's a very sharp number as well at 45.5, and that hasn't moved.
Yeah, that I think is the sharper of the two numbers because the number opened up at 3.5. It was bet to 5, and then books like Hard Rock Bet and Fanatics went to 5.5 before we saw the Patriot money show up. So I think you're going to see nothing but Patriot money. You have seen nonstop Seahawk bets for the last week and a half. I think the Patriot money, there was no point in betting New England right now. So come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think people are going to start to hammer New England, and you'll see this number come down. I made the prediction that I think this number closes at 3.5. So if you like the Patriots, I would get involved now because I don't think this number closes at 4.5. I think it closes close to 3.5 coming up here. But from a total perspective, you're absolutely right. This number has been stapled. It's either been 46 or 45.5. And I'm going against the grain. I think this game's going to be more higher scoring than people think. I think the Patriots and Seahawks special teams are going to be big. Shaheed is an unbelievable kick returner and punt returner. Marcus Jones is the all-time leader punt returner for the NFL in yards per attempt. I think there are going to be some big plays on the special team side. And then I do think turnovers. I do think we're going to see a bunch of turnovers for both these teams that will lead to points. So I'm with you on the Patriots. I just like this game a bit higher scoring.
All right, finally, that's out there. That's your neck of the woods. Next year, it's Los Angeles. That's a little quick hop for you as well. We're going to wait till Atlanta in 2 years before we go back to Radio Row. So we'll do that in Atlanta. But just give us the lay of the land there. This whole Radio Row thing, it was funny. I was listening to my friend Chris Russo talk about what it was like when he started going out there for the first time back in the 80s to a Radio Row at a Super Bowl, and it was next to nothing, or they'd be in a lobby and whatever. And, of course, now it's exploded. And but just kind of give us the lay of the land of what it's like there this week.
It is as busy of a Radio Row that I've ever seen. This is only my 4th one of these, but this is really tight. I mean, this is a big room, and there are more media here than when I went to Vegas, Phoenix, or Los Angeles. And I don't know if it's because we're now like 6 years away from COVID or the teams make it more interesting because the Patriots are in it. I don't know why this is such a well-attended Radio Row, but it is really full in here. And there's a lot of, I would call new media, people that do things like I do, your podcasts, all these people who are signing deals with Netflix to put their podcasts on. They've got full TV setups. Like, podcasts used to be a camera, a microphone, and a light, and that's it. Now it's a full TV set that they're doing, and they're bringing, Cam Newton's set is ridiculous how big it is. And I'm like, my gosh, where Cam was 3 years ago and now where Cam is now as a media darling. So I think that's the one big difference here is how much new media is in the room versus your traditional radio stations, TV stations, and cable networks that are here. But there's a lot of people who hate the Patriots. I will say that. There's a lot of people that do not like the fact that for the 12th time in 60 of these games, the Patriots are one of the teams coming out of it.
Yeah, and I don't understand why there's still hate for the Patriots because this is a whole different group, and it's a very likable. This is very reminiscent
100%.
First run, but right, Brady in his second year, the Patriots were the darlings against the Rams, and all of those things that went on. This is reminiscent of that. This is a lovable team. I mean, this is not a team that's got a bunch of jerks on it.
No, and so what made me so happy when I got your text message when you said you want to do the show and come on in Huntsville, I said, well, you're absolutely right. This has felt like 2001 all over again. I was in Huntsville when the Patriots won the Super Bowl in 2001. I was in Tunica at one of the casinos for the Tuck Rule game for the Patriots against the Raiders. So why not recreate history? Here I am on the radio in Huntsville, Alabama. Let's go 2001 to 2026 and make it a 25-year closing of the circuit here with the Patriots shocking everybody and winning their 7th Super Bowl to make themselves the most prolific NFL franchise in history.
Yeah, and that's where Matt and I work together. For our friends in Tennessee that are listening as well, we're on stations in Tennessee too. So we're going to give them a little bit of love. As well. Matt Perrault is his name. The show is called The Bostonian versus the Book. You can find it. What's the YouTube page that they go and find it there?
Yeah, at Boston versus the Book on YouTube, and X is the show page, and we stream. We'll be on live at 12 noon Central Time coming up today, and we have about 9 guests all lined up. Cameron Dicker's going to stop on by. Chris Meyer's going to stop on by. Tyrod Taylor, Donovan McNabb. Got a lot of big names stopping by today for the show.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And then you can watch the replays as well at night on Sports Grid TV. I do get that. I have YouTube TV, so I got the Sports Grid channel, and so you can catch it every night there as well. Matt, I appreciate you as always. Good to talk to you. Good to see you. You and I a lot grayer than we were back in the day when we were working together. But good to see you here, and we'll keep the conversation going.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you. That's Matt Perrault. Good dude right there. Good dude. All right, we'll get a break. When we come back, we'll set you up for hour number 2 next, right here in the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Ryan Preece wins the Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, the unofficial start to the NASCAR season. Coming up, the Great American Race, a week from Sunday, the Daytona 500. Ryan Blaney 9-1, William Byron and Joey Logano both 10-1. Danny Hamlin, who says he re-injured his shoulder in the offseason, is 11-1. College basketball today, UAB laying 1.5 at home with the Memphis Tigers, 153.5 the total at Bartow Arena. And the Alabama Crimson Tide last night outscored Texas A&M 100-97, but the Tide did not cover the 8.5-point spread at home. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine today, but it is going to be chilly. Keep the heavy coat handy. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 30s and lower 40s, dropping into the upper 20s, lower 30s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for you Friday. Friday going to be a fantastic afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, longtime friends of the show. To be honest with you, it's been about 20 years that we have been hooked up with TOC, and they just do such a great job. They service the Huntsville Havoc, Alabama A&M, most of the high schools in the region. They got 13 locations all throughout the Tennessee Valley. So if you have an orthopedic problem, if you're considering professional care, really, TOC, it's the only logical choice. You need to contact TOC. Make your appointment. When you need them, they're there. Always in the Tennessee Valley, TOC. And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Apparently, it's a featured artist Friday as well on a Beat the Big Dog Thursday. We're just hammering Skinner. All right, let me get AC in here quick and give him the last minute and a half or so of the hour so he doesn't have to wait. AC, welcome in. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you so much for taking my call. How you feeling?
I am fantastic.
Good. So what am I doing? Pick the little dog? Let me do your little dog challenge. What do you have?
Well, yeah, you can pick against the little dog. The little dog's on the other side of the glass. Well, he's 60. He's 500.
No,
you have a better chance at him than you would at me.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Let me do the big little dog challenge, and I want to address the low IQ gas you just had on. So let's get to the business side of it. Let's do the big dog challenge.
No, I haven't called for that yet. That doesn't come up until later in the next hour.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
All right.
Well,
That's all right.
Here's the thing about your guest. You think Tom Brady is jealous of Drake May? Drake May is going to walk into the Super Bowl. Congratulations. He's going to walk out with nothing. Nothing. The Seahawks, they're going to dismantle the Patriots. That gas punk so jealous. Patriots won 6 Super Bowls. Now, let's face it was because of Tom Brady, not because of Drake May. So, let me tell you something, Mr. Guest. Spoiler, your Patriots are not winning single play. You're going to see the Seahawks with the confetti winning their 2nd Super Bowl. Hey, Malcolm Butler saved the day a couple of years ago. This time, nobody's saving your day. It's not a prediction, baby. I gave you spoiler. 41-17 massacre.
Wow. There you go. All right. From AC.
Good stuff.
All right. Hour number 1 is in the hopper. When we return, Jeff Diamond will join us. More NFL next here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Basketball fans, get ready as the Conference USA Basketball Tournament is set to return to the Rocket City and Probst Arena March 10th through 14th, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with Conference USA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. It's 5 days of exciting hoops action at BBC Probst Arena. Jump into the action by getting your tickets now by visiting Ticketmaster.com. And we'll see you inside the BBC March 10th through the 14th. Come find out who will be putting on their dancing shoes.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry. all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. Taking care of your property yourself can be a real headache. Eagle can handle it for you. They offer full landscaping services, irrigation, mowing, bush hog, and can install plants and trees, sod, and even landscape borders. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team is to play with USSSA softball. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but for recreational softball tournaments all around the area, as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, the USSSA National Championship this year is at the Gulf Shore and Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. Now, for more information, visit alfastpitch.uSSSA.com. That's alfastpitch.uSSSA.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
No, right? WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. In a game that would feature 28 lead changes and 13 ties, Alabama would have 6 players score in double figures, led by Aiden Holloway's 20 points and a career-high 6 rebounds. Crimson Tide knock off Texas A&M 100-97. Alabama would end the game on a 19-6 run. Other SEC scores from last night, Kentucky would get 20 points and 11 rebounds from Brandon Garrison. Wildcats knock off Oklahoma 94-78. ASUN basketball from last night, a shorthanded UNA squad falls on the road to Central Arkansas, and former UAH head coach John Shulman 81-60. Dante Backus would lead the Lions with 21 points. Tonight on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, the UAH Chargers host Delta State. Women's game tips off at 5:30. Men's game tips off at 7:30. Download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today to hear the Chargers tonight.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental. And they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the exact machine for you. Now, whether it's new construction or daily work environments or an area that's been neglected for far too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you get the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Call Valley Equipment and ask them for more details on how they can help you out today.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The Big Dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on. That's my dog. Now live, here he is, the Big Dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. It is a Beat the Big Dog in the Doghouse. We are welcoming in a new audience today, as well as the folks listening in Nashville on Nashville Sports Radio and in Murfreesboro as well on WNSR. they join our friends at 97.7 ESPN in Huntsville and, of course, ESPN Winchester in Tennessee. So we welcome one and all to the show. Plenty to get into. We do have a Beat the Big Dog coming up in the next segment of the show. We'll get to that. We've got some props. We're going to find out if anybody after the Super Bowl, Joe and Huntsville played last week. And then, this week we'll have a contestant. Wolverine Dan is already in the TOC Ice Suite for the Huntsville Havoc game coming up in March. So we'll see if anybody can join him in that, or is he going to get the entire suite? Is he going to get the entire suite? All right. If both you guys beat me, then all you guys are going to the deal. So that's the way that works. So we'll get that for you here in just a few minutes. But before all of that, our opportunity to talk to one Mr. Jeff Diamond to be joining us here in just a moment. And we'll get his take. Of course, he is the former NFL Executive of the Year. Jeff Diamond is brought to us in Alabama by North Alabama Mortgage and Paige Mooneyhan of 2020 Mortgage in Tennessee. So he'll be joining us here in just a couple of moments, and we'll get his take on a number of things that are going on in the NFL, including the Hall of Fame, which reportedly Roger Craig has now made it through the senior committee. No word on Ken Anderson or L.C. Greenwood. To be honest with you, I don't think those guys are Hall of Famers. I'm just going to say right now, I don't think that those guys are Hall of Famers, in my opinion. We'll see what Jeff says about that, but I don't think they are. But we'll get his take on that here in just a few moments as soon as he joins us. And apparently they're having a little bit of a problem with the connection there. How is it, John? What's your evaluation of that?
It looks like he's moving to a different room to have a little bit of better connection. A few more bars right now. So, we can see him walking around. He's dropped off a few times, but it looks like he's finding the right spot to kind of sit down.
Well, it's probably because it's frozen there. You know what I mean? I mean, everything is frozen there. It's like 20 degrees below zero. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous there. We will get to the game last night as well in Tuscaloosa. As we mentioned in the first hour of the show, the Tide with a dramatic win down the stretch, outscoring the Aggies in the final 20 minutes of that game, or the final 10 minutes of that game. Pretty good. Aiden Holloway with 20 points in the game. Latrell Wrightsell had the go-ahead three-pointer, about a minute left in that game as well. I think 1:11 was left when he hit that to put the Tide up 97-95. Holloway with that sick layup and one. He puts the Tide up 99-95. They win 100-97 in that game. And a couple of looks. They had a couple of looks late, did Texas A&M, but they weren't able to get anything done with that. Couple of other things I want to get to. I don't want to start them right now, but there are a couple of other things that I do want to get into later on in the show regarding what's going on with the NFL and the awards gala that is going to take place. That's when we're going to find out who the new class of Hall of Famers are. I think Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald should be first-timers, in my opinion. I think that those two guys should be lead pipe first-time Hall of Famers. Of the guys that are on the modern ballot, the leftovers from last year, when Luke Kuechly was a first-timer last year, I thought he should have been in. Adam Vinatieri should be in the Hall of Fame. Adam Vinatieri is the best kicker I ever saw. All right? There's only one in the Hall of Fame, and it's Jan Stenerud. And it's kind of crazy that we only have one in the Hall of Fame. So I think that Adam Vinatieri goes in and should go in. So the questions come now. They pick between 3 and 5. So the question is Eli Manning in his second year. And if you're putting Eli Manning in, are you putting Eli Manning in together with Drew Brees? And then there's Jason Witten, outstanding tight end. I think Jason Witten's a Hall of Famer. I don't know that he goes in this class. Frank Gore. I mean, I know numbers are numbers, but I'm having a hard time feeling Frank Gore as a Hall of Famer. I don't understand. If we're considering Frank Gore, how was Roger Craig not in the Hall of Fame already then? If we're considering Frank Gore now. So Frank Gore is a finalist. I say no. Terrell Suggs, he was linebacker 2 on his team. And is he a Hall of Famer? Maybe eventually. I'm a pass right here. Darren Woodson, I would say yes. The ones that are really, Torrey Holt more than Reggie Wayne, but in both cases, Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne, they're wide receiver too on their teams, on their own teams. Marvin Harrison is already in the Hall of Fame. Reggie Wayne was his Robin to Marvin Harrison's Batman. Torrey Holt was Robin to Isaac Bruce at the Rams. I feel like Torrey Holt is closer to being a Hall of Famer, than is Reggie Wayne in this case. But now there is precedent for this, where you take two receivers and put them in like this. I mean, there is precedent. I mean, you can look no further than, John Stallworth and Lynn Swann. And most would say that Lynn Swann was the one there. Now, they were more like 1A and 1B, but he may be the one there. So we're continuing to effort Jeff Diamond. It's interesting, John. Can't even get him on the phone? You know what? It's the same issue because that's what he uses for his video. I'm texting him as I speak. It's great radio.
No worries. We got him on the phones.
All right. We did get him on the phone. All right. That's good. So Jeff Diamond joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jeff, what's going on there? Is the cell towers frozen over? Is that what's happening there and nothing works anymore or what?
No, up here in the Twin Cities, we can handle ice and snow, unlike NES in Nashville, unfortunately, and some of the other places down south. But no, I think because I'm at my granddaughter's house today, taking care of a couple kids, and I don't know if there's interference or what. But now I'm just calling in, and we'll be fine next week for visual again. But we'll just do audio today and talk Super Bowl and coaches and crazy stuff around the NFL and around the world.
Well, I just assumed that you were down at the Vikings offices discussing, not interviewing, but discussing the Vikings GM job since they fired their GM last week. I figured they'd just tab you and say, hey, come on back. You don't have to have an interview. You were the executive of the year as the GM there. Why, I'm just saying, is that ship sailed, or why aren't they just calling Jeff Diamond and saying, come on in and take over this show for us?
Yeah, I think that ship sailed a few years ago, but I do have a great relationship with the Wilfs, the owners of the team, and with a bunch of their execs and coach and all that. But no, I think that I think they're content with where they are right now. But it was kind of a curious situation with Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. As you mentioned, the Vikings GM got fired last week. The odd thing, not so much that he got let go, because there had been really a lot of draft failures on his watch, and they had to go heavy into free agency, spend a lot of money. And of course, the quarterback situation didn't pan out this year when they let Sam Darnold leave for Seattle. Thought they were going to re-sign Daniel Jones, lost him to Indy, should have made him a better offer that he couldn't refuse. And then he would have been there. They would have been okay when J.J. McCarthy got hurt early in the season. They had Carson Wentz, and he just wasn't good enough. And then they got stuck playing a rookie quarterback, Max Brosmer, for a couple of starts, and end up missing the playoffs by a half a game. And so, yeah, it's just ends up being a bad situation for Kwesi, the GM, and a lot of draft difficulties that he had. They only had 4 drafted starters that were on their team this year in the last 4 drafts. That is definitely not good enough when you compare with most teams around the league have a good dozen to 15 starters that are drafted and built. And that's the way I always felt it had to be done in my career as a GM, as a team president. You had to build through the draft and then augment through free agency. For the Vikings, it had to work the opposite way because they just were not hitting on enough draft picks. They had no second, third, fourth, or fifth round picks on their roster this year. And that can't happen. It affects your depth. And so a lot of things happen. But as I said, the curious thing was that they didn't let him go right after the season on Black Monday.
Right.
Go out and find a new GM right away. unless they have their eye on a GM who's already under contract somewhere. And what the rumblings are, could be George Payton, the Broncos GM, who is in the last year of his deal, and he is a former Vikings assistant GM and had a great relationship with the owners here, the Wilfs. So that could be a possibility, but otherwise it was curious that they waited that long to let him go. He was down at the Senior Bowl scouting, so really kind of an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, that's what was weird about it. He got blown out at the Senior Bowl. But of course, the fact that he had put a first-round grade on Diego Pavia at the Senior Bowl, that might have been a final straw. You know what I mean? They might have said, maybe that's what it was.
Possibly, but I kind of like what I've seen from Diego. Not necessarily in the first round, of course, but he's not Fernando Mendoza, but or Ty Simpson, perhaps. But anyways, it was just a curious situation that's unfolded here. Now they go into the off season and they have no new GM in place. They have their executive VP of football ops, Rob Brzezinski, is going to run the operation. I'm sure Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, is going to have a lot more input, and so will Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator. But meanwhile, they're working on finishing their coaching staff. So there are a lot of moving parts that have to happen, and it's really a critical time of year for any team, whether it's the Titans, whether it's even Super Bowl teams or the Vikings, that this is the time when you're doing your scouting, when you're doing your draft board, you're getting your free agency targets lined up, you're figuring out who you may have to release to get under the salary cap, who you're going to restructure. So there are a lot of things that are happening. And as I said, it's kind of curious. And what we're asking up here is, who's going to make the final call if there's a disagreement? Because basically, as you know, and as I know very well, most of the time it's always consensus on the draft board, on draft picks, on free agent targets. But occasionally there is a disagreement. I had a few in my day as a president in Tennessee. I had to break a tie between Jeff Fisher and Floyd Reese on a couple players that we were going to keep or let go or draft or sign in free agency. And I had that authority to do so. I didn't have to use it that often because we reached consensus much more often than not. And it was very rare we had a disagreement.
Yeah, it's a good point. Jeff Diamond with us here. But what about the scouting side of things, though, right? I mean, who's the director of scouting? Because we always blame the GMs on these things, but it's the scouts that are out there that are writing up the reports and spending all these time with these players and so on. And certain organizations, the coach has a little more say than in others. I'm not sure what the scenario was there with Adolfo Mensa, but I would also look to the scouting department a little bit because somebody's going to inherit a scouting department. But, it just seems odd that this would be 100% on him.
Yeah, and that's definitely true. As I said, it's a collaboration. And so I'm sure that all the people in the personnel department, Ryan Grigson, the former Colts GM, is the assistant GM here. He was under Kwesi, and I'm sure he'll have an important role at this point. But guys like Ryan Grigson, other members of that front office in the personnel department, they have to be a little bit on eggshells now because now there could be a new GM coming in. They may end up elevating Rob Brzezinski, the VP of football ops, but there could well be a new GM coming in who may want to bring in his own people. So it's kind of an unsettling time, and that's really kind of difficult environment for people to be working under during a very busy period of time. And I think what's important is that the ownership and the other people at the higher levels have to tell all their scouts, all their personnel people, hey, do your job. Just focus on what you're doing. Let's get our draft board lined up. Let's get our free agents targets lined up, and we'll see how it all shakes out down the road. But there are a lot of people, I'm sure, that are very nervous over at Vikings headquarters.
Yeah. Jeff Diamond with us here. So we talked last week about Bill Belichick in the snub from the committee in terms of getting him in off of that senior / executive coach / committee, which is part of the problem, I think, with this. And now we find out Robert Kraft also is not going in either. And so those guys are going to be connected at the hip again. Who knows? They may go in together next year. But, we kind of saw we could kind of make a case about the Belichick thing if there were a few guys that had an issue with the cheating deal, and even though he paid, he got suspended and he paid the $500,000 fine and all of that kind of stuff. But now Kraft doesn't go in either. What would be to rub against Robert Kraft? You got owners in there like Ralph Wilson and Jerry Jones even, and, who did some wonderful things for the league, but his team hasn't done anything in 30 years. But Robert Kraft, I mean, you got to be kidding me. How does this guy not get elected?
Yeah, and I'm sure he will at some point in time. And so it's just, I don't know, maybe they're trying to create some drama and have him go in with Belichick at the same time.
I guess.
when those two apparently have some issues at this point. But both of them definitely belong in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and both of them will get in at some point. It's just kind of strange, especially as we've talked about in terms of the voting process. They need to separate the coaches, the contributors, from the players that are going to get in, and not pick 3 out of 5 out of those, combining those categories. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, Roger Craig, apparently, it's being leaked that Roger Craig is in. I'll be honest with you. I was surprised Roger Craig wasn't in already. To me, Roger Craig was a Hall of Famer, and I was kind of surprised that he was not in. On the other hand, Kenny Anderson is not a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's a Hall of Good, but he is not a Hall of Fame quarterback. And I'd say the same thing about L.C. Greenwood, that he is not a Hall of Famer. Of the 3 players that were in that category, I think Roger Craig was the one that was going to go in. I thought, if anything, it would have been Belichick, Kraft, and Craig.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Roger Craig definitely belongs in there, and I think, as we talked last week, I know Roger very well. He spent a season with us in Minnesota or 2 during the Denny Green era, and did a great job as that dual purpose back that he always was with the 49ers during their heyday, and just a great guy, great leader that he was on our team. And we had several playoff teams, and he was part of that crew. And so I'm really happy for Roger that he's in, that he, or hopefully that he's in, supposedly he's in, and definitely deserved. Kenny Anderson, yeah, I agree with you. I don't know that he really separated himself from so many other quarterbacks who have gotten in or will get in, and L.C. Greenwood too. He's kind of on the coattails, certainly a great player, but on the coattails of that whole steel curtain defense, and so I'm fine with Roger getting in, and not the other 2.
Yeah. Of the modern players, first-timers, Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald, I can't believe that anybody – I mean, how do you not put Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald on your list? To me, they should be first ballot locks. I also think that – I thought Luke Kuechly was going in last year. Adam Vinatieri is the best kicker I ever saw. You're just a little bit older than me. Jan Stenerud is the only place kicker in the NFL Hall of Fame. Or in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, to me, Adam Vinatieri should be in. The question marks then become, are they going to go ahead and put Eli Manning in? Are they going to put Jason Witten in? Maybe not yet. Frank Gore doesn't feel like a Hall of Famer, right? Terrell Suggs, maybe. And then you got number 2 wide receivers in Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne, kind of in the John Stallworth category. With Lynn Swann and John Stallworth both ended up in there. But Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne were the number 2 on their team most of their career. So it's kind of interesting to see how all of those will be handled.
Yeah, definitely. And those are all great players. We know that. And I'm sure a lot of those guys are going to get in eventually. But yeah, it's tough. You can't get them all in at once. And so I think it will be interesting when it gets announced, which I guess is tonight, right?
Tomorrow, I think. Is it tonight or tomorrow? No, Saturday, isn't it, at the honors? Or is it tomorrow? I don't know.
I thought that was coming up tonight, but maybe it's not till Saturday. I'm just thinking more about the game at this point in time, and kind of excited about this game. I know it may not have the sizzle of some past Super Bowls with Mahomes and Brady and some of those type of players, but I think it's really a good matchup, and certainly has a Cinderella story in Sam Darnold.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is tonight. So you're absolutely right about that. So I guess we'll know who those guys are. Yeah, it's a fascinating game. I feel like Sam Darnold's been playing out of his mind and you know, and I liked him coming out of college. He struggled obviously with the Jets, as does everybody. Bounced around. He should have stayed in Minnesota. That's part of the reason I think why Quasi got himself blown out. They should have had him there. But having said all of that, can he play another great game? Because I think he has to play great. And I really like Mike Vrabel in the defense with New England. I think they're a dynamic group. And if Sam Darnold slips at all, and Drake May does not, you know what I mean? I think it's all coming down to the quarterbacks here. Now, Drake May could offset it by fumbling in the pocket or doing some of that kind of stuff. But if Drake May is adequate and Sam Darnold, makes a mistake somewhere along the line, I think the Patriots are going to win the game. I have the Patriots winning the game outright.
Yeah, I've got Seattle. I think they're the better roster, better team, and I like both teams. I have personal connections to John Schneider, who went to college here in Minnesota, and I got to know him at the Seahawks when Pete Carroll was there, and I like John a lot. Really good guy. Their GM, the Crafts, Robert and Jonathan, I interviewed there before I took the Titans job, and I like them both very much too. And so I don't really feel badly if either team wins or loses, except for the fact, as I said, I think the tipping point for me is I'm cheering for Darnold, because I just think it's such a great rags to riches story for a guy who was a first round bust at the Jets and then has the career renaissance with the Vikings and then gets let go. They let him walk, which I thought at the time was understandable to let him go for a $100 million deal when he had the two flops at the end of last season. But I thought they were going to re-sign Daniel Jones, and I thought McCarthy would be ready to roll as a top 10 pick, and just didn't turn out that way for them this year. And as you said, that was a part of Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's problem. But yeah, I think that certainly for me, Seattle, I just think is the better all-around team. But anything can happen. Obviously, I heard a stat that I think the last 5 Super Bowl winners have been underdogs or have covered the spread. Maybe they lost the game. So there have been close Super Bowls lately, and I think there's a good chance this is going to be a close one too. I just think that Darnold is the key. And as you mentioned, I mean, he had turnover issues, especially the second half of the season, but played great against the Rams, who was kind of his kryptonite last year with the Vikings. If Sam doesn't turn it over, I think Seattle wins the game. I think that their defense can get after, certainly put pressure on Drake May, but then they got to stop his scrambling, and that'll be on Ernest Jones to make sure he's spying on him. So there are a lot of variables in this game. I think one of the kind of hidden variables, and I know you're a former special team guy, is you think about Rashid Shaheed, who is a Pro Bowl kick returner for Seattle and had a big return in the playoffs. I think he could be a guy that could make a difference in this game.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. By the way, just breaking now, I liked this guy coming out of the draft. I tried to tell my sons about Tyler Shuck, and I said, I think that this is the best one of these batch of quarterbacks that are coming out, and he was just named the NFL Rookie of the Year. So Tyler Shuck, who doesn't take over until midway through the season, ended up 67.6% completion percentage, 2,384 yards, 91.3 passer rating, and broke all the Saints records for rookie quarterbacks and so on. And he ends up being the Rookie of the Year. So that's an interesting development as well. I think over Jackson Dart, who was the other quarterback that was on the list. The other guys were, running backs, Trevion Henderson and Ashton Genty, the linebacker in Cleveland, Carson Schlesinger, who will be the defensive player of the year, I think, defensive rookie of the year, I believe. But so Tyler Shuck, the kid out of Louisville, lo and behold, rookie of the year.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a nice story. He wasn't a high first round pick. He was a second round pick. And he's a guy that bounced around in college, which so many of these players do now under NIL, but Oregon, Texas Tech, Louisville. And yeah, he comes out really strong at the end of last season. And so, yeah, I think it's a nice story, and congrats to him.
Yeah. Jeff Diamond has been our guest. Jeff, we appreciate you so much, and we look forward to talking to you next week. We'll have a Super Bowl review next week, and then look forward to the off season.
For sure, and we got combine coming up, free agency, draft, and lo and behold, here we go again into the 2026 season, and teams got to get up to the salary cap and free agency and so forth. And next week, I'll be sure I'm on camera.
It never ends. I mean, it's the way, that's the genius of the NFL. They always have something going on each and every month of the season. So they do a great job with that. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Tom. Take care. Have a great weekend.
You too. All right, we're going to get a break in here. When we come back, it is time for the final Beat the Big Dog of the season. Okay? The final one. So be caller number 3 right now, 256-576-4977, 256-576-4977. We're looking for new meat to play Beat the Big Dog. If you've been beaten, you're gone. You're out of that list. But we're looking for new meat to come in and play Beat the Big Dog next, 256-576-4977. We're doing it Super Bowl style next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Ryan Preece wins the Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, the unofficial start to the NASCAR season. Coming up, the Great American Race, a week from Sunday, the Daytona 500. Ryan Blaney 9-1, William Byron and Joey Logano both 10-1. Danny Hamlin, who says he re-injured his shoulder in the offseason, is 11-1. College basketball today, UAB laying 1.5 at home with the Memphis Tigers, 153.5 the total at Bartow Arena. And the Alabama Crimson Tide last night outscored Texas A&M 100-97, but the Tide did not cover the 8.5-point spread at home. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team is to play with USSSA Softball. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but for recreational softball tournaments all around the area, as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, the USSSA National Championship this year is at the Gulf Shore in Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. Now, for more information, visit alfastpitch.uSSSA.com. That's alfastpitch.uSSSA.com.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Basketball fans, get ready as the Conference USA Basketball Tournament is set to return to the Rocket City and Probst Arena March 10th through 14th, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with Conference USA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. It's 5 days of exciting hoops action at BBC Probst Arena. Jump into the action by getting your tickets now by visiting Ticketmaster.com. And we'll see you inside the BBC March 10th through the 14th. Come find out who will be putting on their dancing shoes.
Oftentimes, the wheelchairs our veterans and first responders receive from their healthcare providers are subpar at best. Some are falling apart, with a years-long waiting list for a new one. This lag causes a tremendous amount of stress for our heroes and creates a burden for their caregivers. Isolation leads to depression. We build what they need to get outdoors, hunting, fishing, or playing sports. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. That's right. They take care of the routine checkups. They keep your Ford or other brand in perfect working order. But if you have a bigger problem, they got these expert service technicians that can diagnose it, use state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. I take my vehicles there. I've been doing it, for nearly 20 years now. It's Woody Anderson Ford and the service department. Second to none. Check out Woody Anderson Ford today. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Just all Skinnered today. John just went all Skinnered. If you're wondering why, by the way, I posted the commercial. The new Budweiser commercial is posted at my Twitter page, at my X page. If you go there, you can check it out. The Budweiser commercial that'll be played in the Super Bowl. It is the greatest commercial ever. It's the greatest commercial ever because it features the greatest piece of music ever written in the history of mankind, Freebird. But it's unbelievable commercial. Now, John says that there's some I don't know, CGI or what was that other thing you called it? What was that other thing you said that they use?
No, it's just I think it was CG. That's
CG.
Yeah.
That's different than CGI.
No,
I don't know one from the other.
Same thing, yeah.
Okay, so he thinks that there's some of that in there. I say there's not. It's a baby eagle falls out of a nest. It's on the back of a horse, a Clydesdale, a baby Clydesdale, and they grow up together, and then eventually the eagle flies away off of the back of the Clydesdale, and I'm going to say that it's all 100% real. Probably was recorded over time. This probably actually happened, is what I think happened, is what went on there. I think that's what that is. I don't think that's even, that's what I think happened, John, is that was happening probably over a number of years, and now they just released the footage of it.
Yeah,
is what happened.
well, as you were saying, what the commercial was about, I was just thinking how ridiculous and difficult that would be to train the eagle to hop on the thing's back. And
it wasn't trained. It just happened. It happened by nature.
It's a friendship.
It's nature.
It's beautiful. We should learn a thing or two about that eagle and horse.
We should. Wonderful. All right. It is a Beat the Big Dog Thursday. And you know what that means. That means it's time to play it. Beat the Big Dog.
You know, there are rules to success, my friend. Rule number one is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I got to know everything you know as soon as you know it.
So I didn't realize that LSU Lynch had not played this year in Beat the Big Dog. He's a big hockey fan. He would love to be in that ice suite. Even though Wolverine Dan will be in there, he'd still love to be in there. And so he's going to give it a shot. We just hope that he's not a lemon. Just don't be a lemon is all that we ask of LSU Lynch,
I don't know how to say this without sounding a little rude, but you're a lemon.
Oh, don't be a lemon. So LSU Lynch, welcome in. How are you, man? How you doing? Are you back yet, or are you just living in? Do you live on the shore now, or did you come back?
I came back, but, me and Grasshopper are going to be there next Friday.
At the beach or at the game?
At the beach.
You're going back?
I won't come back until whenever. So, yeah. It's Mardi Gras weekend, son. It's all good. Now,
So
look here, I have waited all season to be a loser, to be a lemon. You said, so you have 2026 to do this, 2027, and then do you retire, January
I'm going to do
2028? I mean, when is your last show?
After the Super Bowl in 2020, I'm gonna do Radio Row in Atlanta at the 2028 Super Bowl. Then I'm retiring. Boom. That's how I'm going out. I'm going out at Radio Row at the Super Bowl.
Well, see, look here. I feel honored to be, a 2-year out loser.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear me?
I hear you, but you're doing good in the trifecta. So, do you want to go first on the first pick, or do you want to go?
Well,
I got
can
6
go
picks.
First on everything because I'm going to lose. It don't matter. So let's just have fun. Let's go.
All right, so you'll go first on the first pick, and you'll hear John's picks first. So you'll hear Grasshopper, and then you make your pick, and then I'll make mine, and then we'll reverse the order on that. All right, Grasshopper, we're going to start right out with the quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, the over-under for him is 228. The over-under for Drake May is 225. So we'll just say straight up, who throws for more yards in this game, Sam Darnold or Drake May?
I'm going to go with Sam Darnold. And I'm also realizing that the Super Bowl is going to come down to whether or not I go 500 at the end of this whole thing. So
there's no doubt.
I could go absolutely, wrong with all of my picks, but I think Sam Darnold's definitely the pick in this one. I think the wide receiver room is built up for this team. Rashid Shaheed has been an amazing addition, and he's just now getting the use that he's needed all season long. And, there's a lot of talent on that Seahawks team, and I think that, he's going to be throwing the ball a lot.
All right, LSU Lynch. Sam Darnold or Drake May, who throws for more yards?
We'll go ditto with a Grasshopper.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one, too. I think Sam Darnold does, but I do think that the Patriots will run the ball. I think that the Seahawks will be behind some, and so I think they'll have to throw it around a little bit. All right, in our next pick here, it's Drake May, over or under being sacked 3.5 times. Will Drake May be sacked over or under 3.5 times? I'm going to go – he's been sacked 5 times in each of the first playoff games that they've played in, the first 3 playoff games. I'm going to say under here. I mean, everybody's going over. I'm going to say under here because I think he's going to be very aware of it. He's going to get out of the pocket, and I think the official sacks will be under 3.5, which means under 4. So I will take under 3.5 sacks for Drake May. What do you got, John?
Well, the Seahawks have been under that line just kind of as an average all season long. But I do think it's a good defense, and they're going to cause some pressure. But Drake May, very elusive when he needs to be. So I'm also going to go with the under on that one.
All right. So what do you think, LSU Lynch? Drake May over or under sacked 3.5 times?
To beat you, I got to go over.
Well, you have to on this pick. You don't have to
it's only the
opposite
pick.
me on everything, but yeah, okay, go over on that.
All
right.
Look, I ain't here to tie, son.
I hear you. I feel you. All right, on this one, John, you go first. Drake May, over or under 36.5 yards rushing?
Ooh. Oh, I feel like his feet are going to come into play for one huge play. That's going to probably lead to a touchdown. But do I think that it's going to all add up to over, how much did you say, 36?
36.5 yards rushing.
Yeah, I'm going to go over.
All right, he'll go over. What do you think, LSU Lynch? Drake May, over or under 36.5 yards rushing?
Yeah, let's just go over. Who cares? Let's go.
Okay, you got to over. I'm taking the under on that one. I think he'll have a couple of key runs, but a key run being a 9-yard here and a 12-yard there. But I think that Drake May will ultimately be under 36.5 yards. Again, I feel like they're going to shorten the game with the running game. All right, Sam Darnold. This one I am first on. Sam Darnold, longest completion of the game for Sam Darnold, over or under 35.5 yards. So will Sam Darnold have a completion over or under 35.5 yards? I'm going to take the over there. I'm going to say he'll hit one big ball. He'll hit one deep ball or one ball where, that includes, where you throw it out there and a guy runs for 30 yards after he catches it. So I will say over 35.5 yards. What do you got, John?
That's the tough one right there because there is at least one deep ball in his arsenal going into a lot of these games, especially in the playoffs. And if it's not to Rashid Shaheed, it's to Jackson Smith and Jigba. And if it's not there, then I don't exactly know, but it's going to be somebody. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll with you. I honestly, I think my gut's telling me otherwise. Screw it. I'm going the opposite way. I don't think he's gonna have one over that distance.
All right, LSU Lynch. What do you think? Sam Darnold over or under a 35.5 yard completion?
Over. And look here. Go back to number 2 and let me ride with you. I rethought about that.
You're going to go with the under on Drake May being sacked. Okay. All right. Good enough. So you got that being sacked 3.5 times. All right. This one is the game itself. Guys, we start with you, John. Patriots getting 4.5 against the Seahawks. What do you got?
Under.
Patriots getting 4.5. Your answer is under?
Oh, no. Yeah. They hit that. They don't win, but they do get.
They cover?
Yeah, they get in the cover.
So you're going to take the Patriots plus 4.5. All right. LSU Lynch. Patriots plus 4.5.
Seahawks.
All right. I'm opposite you on that one. I'm going to take the Patriots. I think I'm sticking with the Patriots winning this game outright. So the 4.5 is just a bonus. I'm going to take the Patriots here. Plus the 4.5. All right, and finally, now John, you can get into this. Finally, I'll go first on this one. The total over or under 45.5. I have already said, boy, I'm all over that number because I'm in this 24-20 range, 21-17, maybe 20-17, something like that. So I am going to go under the 45.5, but it's a dangerous number. What do you think, John?
I'm going to go over on that. I'm predicting probably a 20, I'm going to say 28 to 25, 24 game, 27. It could be. Yeah, I'm going to say it'll be over.
Okay. What do you think, LSU Lynch? Over or under 45.5 points?
Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm going to go under.
Under 45.5. So in summation, we both like Sam Darnold over Drake May in terms of yards passing. I've got the under being sacked 3.5 times for Drake May. You've got the over.
Okay,
we both
okay.
like. What?
Yeah, go back to the number 2. Go back and flip it the other. I think it was number 3. I wanted to change.
Over. Okay, last was 3. So then the Drake May over or under 36.5 yards. You're on the under. I'm on the under. You changing that too? No, you staying there? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're
good there. And the Sam Darnold completion over 35.5 yards. We both are on the over there. I've got the Patriots. You got Seattle in the game, and we both like the under. All right, man. Good luck with this, Lynch.
But look, it don't matter if I lose. It's always winning just to get on this show. You hear me? Go.
Appreciate you. That's a really kind thing to say.
I feel like
he didn't used to say kind things when he called the show. That's a kind thing to say.
I feel like halfway through that he thought, maybe I can actually win this thing. I think he was like,
I'm
confused.
What?
There's a little bit of logic behind this one. I might be able to win this one.
I'm confused. Is he still down there or not?
No, he's not.
So he's back, but then he's going back down next week?
Yeah, it's only like a 5.5 hour drive. Why
well,
not?
I understand that, but I mean, I don't understand.
Mardi Gras, baby.
So Mardi Gras, is that, and you're going there for that?
Yeah, I didn't know that it was happening until LSU Lynch was telling me about it. I was like, huh.
So you were already planning on going down there?
Yeah, it was for Valentine's Day. I was actually planning to go up to Gatlinburg, but something fell through. So
yeah, that's what you said, Gatlinburg.
Yeah, I'd rather be a little bit warmer than colder. So that's what we're doing.
It's actually going to warm up a little bit next week. We got some days in the 60s next week. So you're saying you're going down there. Now, you've never been to Mardi. Now, there's the original Mardi Gras is in Mobile. All right, so that's where Mardi Gras started, was in Mobile, and then New Orleans got their hands on it. New Orleans Mardi Gras, I would highly recommend staying away from. New Orleans Mardi Gras is raunchy. It is. I mean, there's zones. They have areas where are more family friendly or whatever, but New Orleans Mardi Gras is raunchy. The original Mardi Gras where it started is in Mobile, and that Mardi Gras is a lot less raunchy. It's a lot more wholesome. So I think you can do that one if you're going to go to Mardi Gras.
Okay, yeah, all right. I don't know your depiction of raunchy though, so you're gonna have to show me for some
I know
beads.
boobies hanging out, stuff like that. That's raunchy. That would be raunchy.
Okay.
Show me your beads, throw that kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm
just saying.
The vocabulary down there is a little different.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that too. All right, we'll come back with a final segment next. Where did this thing come from that these guys are doing where they look like they're holding their hand over their face and they're waving their hand in front of it? Where did that all come from? What is it? What does it mean that this wildly popular celebration that we're seeing now in the NFL and in college football and everywhere? I mean, it's crazy. What is it? And where did it come from? We educate you next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Basketball fans, get ready as the Conference USA Basketball Tournament is set to return to the Rocket City and Probst Arena March 10th through 14th, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with Conference USA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. It's 5 days of exciting hoops action at BBC Probst Arena. Jump into the action by getting your tickets now by visiting Ticketmaster.com. And we'll see you inside the BBC March 10th through the 14th. Come find out who will be putting on their dancing shoes.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the plunge.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, It's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by my friends at All About Water LLC. Well, you can learn more about them at allaboutwaterllc.com. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but look, they do everything that has anything to do with water, whether it's building a pond or refreshing your pond or a water feature on your property or drainage on your property. Whatever it is involving water, they do it. That includes irrigation, maintenance of your irrigation, installation of irrigation. All About Water LLC. Yeah, welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. All right, so you guys have seen this celebration, right? Did you know immediately the first time you saw it, John, that what it was when you saw the celebration that the guys were doing and that this thing with the nose and the covering their face and wagging their hands and doing all of that stuff? Did you have any idea what it was?
No, I had no idea. Even when you sent me, the name of it, I was just like, what is he talking about? Like, why are we doing this, like, Zombie Land? Like, is there a festival coming up or something?
No, yeah. So I'm like, what the heck is this thing? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And so, because you think you would know, you know what I mean, is what it is. And there was a dance like that back in the day where, it would make it like the snorkel or whatever it was. And I didn't know if it had anything to do with that or anything, but it's called the Zombieland Celebration. Now, here's the deal. Cam Ward, this came from Cam Ward. Put it back up there, guys. Leave it up there for a minute. It can loop. Cam Ward, all right, he's the one that popularized this thing. He didn't invent it, but he popularized it while he was at Miami. He started doing it, and then everybody else started doing it. That's Kevin Byard from Middle Tennessee that's doing it. Those of you that are watching WZZN TV, you can see it there where he holds his hand over his nose. Now, the inventor of this thing was actually Dawood Davis at Western Kentucky, a player at Western Kentucky. So he's a wide receiver. So Western Kentucky's offensive coordinator at the time was Ben Arbuckle. So Ben Arbuckle ends up at Washington State, where he's coaching Cam Ward there. Okay, so as the coach often does, as he's putting in his offense and so on, he's showing Cam Ward cut-ups from at Western Kentucky about how these plays should work and stuff. And Cam Ward sees the kid doing that thing, and he's like, oh, I got to do that. And so he starts doing it at Miami. And basically what the genesis of what it means is you stink like a zombie. Apparently zombies stink. I didn't know this, but apparently zombies stink. And what it means is you're simulating covering your nose and waving off the stank. It means you stink like a zombie. That's what it means. There we go.
Woo. Gotta celebrate before we end it.
Yeah, me and John give it a show stinks like a zombie. This show stunk. All right, that'll do it for us. Boys on the other side of the glass did a tremendous job. I'm Tom Abraham. Have a great night, everybody.